And welcome to Tendo on the Floor. This episode we have one of my oldest at this point, I think, which is crazy to say. You can guess like I have a couple friends from childhood. You got rid of all your other friends. It's like I have a couple friends from childhood, and I have a couple of friends from college. Yeah, right. When I went to college, though we didn't go to college together. That's true. But I met you at that time. That's true. And I finally have two friends from that era, and you're one of This is Chris Bauer. We have very limited amount of time to talk about these things on
Something
today's
an hour
podcast.
and a half. It's just not enough.
So we're gonna skip past a lot of the movie stuff because we'll get lost in the weeds and talk about that forever.
True.
We're gonna talk mostly about YouTube stuff.
There you go.
Maybe parenting a little bit.
Yeah.
Reed might be the odd one out because have you ever made a movie?
Only stuff for myself.
Okay, well,
Short films, yeah.
You don't know nothing. Have you ever had a kid?
No.
Okay,
not at
so
all.
you're here as like the Han Solo real main character, so you have real reactions to tell the audience how to react.
I'm the relatable
cheers,
person.
first of all. Milo's tea before we get into it. What are you drinking? Water?
Yeah.
Lame.
Dink
I'm
it
an
and
ice
sink
water
it.
man.
Okay,
It's also very noisy.
let's talk about YouTube first.
Okay.
Because we're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube.
And I've done a handful of podcasts on this channel over the years, and maybe once or twice has it ever been another YouTuber.
Yeah.
You just crossed 50,000 subs yesterday?
Yesterday. I know. Isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
50,000 subscribers.
Congratulations.
Took
That's awesome.
6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
crazy.
That's because I started doing the blog in 2019. And yeah, it's 2025.
What would you say
Simple math.
What would you say your consistency over those 6 years has been?
For the first 2 years, no one watched my vlogs at all. I was trying to do a travel show. So
Okay.
I would do these, every episode was over 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, because I would go, I travel for a living for work. And I would go into these cities and I would just sit there and stare at the hotel walls. I'm not doing anything. And then I was like, okay, if I do a vlog, it'll get me out and go see where I'm wasting this travel. So that's what started it. So I was like, okay, I'll go into each city. I'll find out what movies were filmed there. I'd visit movie locations, find out what the best food is. I'd go do like 3, sometimes 4 food reviews. And then, and then whatever else popped up. And so these were massive episodes, and I was trying to treat the whole thing like it. And that's where the name comes from, Set Streets and Eats. So it took me about 2.5, almost 3 years to find my niche. As they love to say, it finds you. And it did. I went to another convention that I was working in Huntington, West Virginia. And I looked Best Pizza near me. And this picture, Billy Bob's Wonderland came up. And it was one of the pictures was the old animatronics from Showbiz Pizza Place when I was a kid. I was like, this Google's messing with me. This can't be right. And so I walked in, and sure enough, like they're up there performing, and you can order a pizza and go play video games. And I was like, did I just walk into a time machine? What just happened? So I did that video, and up to that point, I don't think I had ever had a video break 1,000 views. And that video got 20,000 views in the first week. And I was like, okay, so there's obviously a fan base for this.
And how many years were you in?
I'm 3 years in.
That's crazy.
3 years in. And I'd have to look it up, but I'll bet you I didn't have more than 1,000 subscribers at the most. I might not have broke 1,000 by that point. And then once I discovered that and started deep diving into the history of it, and I went on to I found the creator of the Rockfire Explosion, the animatronic band. He had a warehouse where they built all those in Orlando, and we went down there. I went down there and toured it. And then that became my most watched video ever.
How many?
It
time.
just blew up. I think it, like right away, it had 10,000 views first week, 20, and it just never stopped. It's almost 1 million views now.
Wow.
And then I just started doing private collections. I just kind of put, like, once you start looking on YouTube, you'll find several private collectors that had Rockfire Explosions, and they will set them up and you can go visit them. And I started doing that, and then started doing Chuck E. Cheese stage visits, and now I'm up to 123 of those.
123 Chuck
Chuck E. Cheese is
That is crazy.
nationwide.
All over the US?
In Canada. No, 5 or 6 of them are in Canada.
There's so much here to talk about.
I
almost need a notepad to write it down because let's talk about that journey a little bit and some of those videos that went viral.
Sure.
Inside of there somewhere, I can't remember. You'll have to correct me. But
Yeah.
you were either ended up with some of your clips on the Tonight Show
So
or John
yes.
Oliver or something.
So there was a private collection that in Chicago that I went to see, and as well, it was a friend of his that had given
Explain the private collection.
Private
a little
collection
more,
means I go into someone's private home and they have all these animatronics from either Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz set up working in there, and they're usually apartments. Is the crazy thing.
What?
It's like you'll walk into an apartment just like this, and you can't see a single wall or floor. It's covered in either animatronics or collectibles from Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz. It's insane.
I dig it though. That's
no,
awesome.
that's
That is so
Oh,
cool.
you have no idea. You need to watch some of the videos.
Yeah,
But
dude, what?
Thousands of collectibles.
But we're probably not just talking. Animatronics, collectibles, store bought, but probably also like prizes from Chuck E. Cheese.
100%, because all those prizes from Chuck E. Cheese in the 80s and 90s are now worth a fortune. Everything that we used to give 3 tickets for, and it had the Chuck E. Cheese logo of that time on it, is worth a lot of money now.
So which one of those shows were you on?
So this one, okay, so this private collection had a what they call a balcony stage Chuck E. Cheese
Okay.
band, meaning they were from the waist up. The balcony stages just installed waist up animatronics. They didn't have legs. So he had his Chuck looked totally different, and it was because there was a Mexican chain, and I can't remember the name of it, so I'm not even going to try. But they were a Mexican chain that was basically retrofitted Chuck E. Cheese. They were ripping off Chuck E. Cheese.
They weren't licensed.
Flat out, no. They were flat out ripping them off. And so the Chuck character had these huge, it wasn't like a mustache, but it had these huge droopy whiskers. Face looked totally different. He's dressed in this little tuxedo. And it was in there, like if you look at videos on YouTube, it's all in Spanish and it's, it's great.
But this guy preserved it the way
So
it was.
this guy had the Chuck from that. And now it still played the regular show tapes, but of course he had the Mexican ones. But anyway, so this was about a month later, and there was a big news story that
You had
went
already
around.
posted the video.
Oh yeah, I'd already posted the video, and there was this big news story that went around that said about Chuck E. Cheese's were still running their shows on floppy disks.
Oh.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
It was
Yes.
all over the internet for a little
as
bit.
well as like the air valves for the.
That's right.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and
I
it was
remember
all be
that.
run off of 3.5-inch floppies.
I'm not changing
Yeah.
the topic here, but I just saw a news article about how the flight controllers or the flight administration are just now phasing out floppy disks.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Just now,
I saw that too,
They didn't get the
actually.
memo. That was 20 years ago. I
Yeah.
don't even think a computer after 20 years ago had a floppy drive in it.
Yeah.
but they were still running the Chuck E. Cheese shows off of those in the stores, and so it made it on to Jimmy Fallon's
Okay.
opening monologue for that whatever night that was, the weeknight it was, and as he's talking about they're making jokes about them running off of floppies, it cuts to a shot of that weird, like, because the joke was basically it was like a bootleg Chucky, which
Yeah.
it sort of was.
Yeah.
And it cut to my shot from my video. And it was just like, well, actually, I saw it once fans started being like, dude, you were on the Tonight Show. And I was like, me? No.
A couple questions though. So it was just the rip of your video.
Just the rip. It was
it
2
wasn't-
seconds.
And it wasn't like it showed your YouTube page.
Didn't show
Were you in the
nothing.
shot?
No, I was filming them.
It was
yeah.
just you,
It was
your
just
camera.
Chuck.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm assuming nobody ever contacted you to like use that clip.
And why would they? They're just producers
Yeah.
trying to put a clip together. It was 2 seconds. I mean, it would have been nice. I'm not gonna lie.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
But I still was like, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't have wanted to contact the people either.
So, but this brings up a small caveat before we can continue talking about your
Yeah.
YouTube stuff. If they can do that, right? Anything you put on
I
YouTube.
think so. I mean,
yeah,
it's public record. It's for public consumption. I think you waive your right to that kind of privacy. Now, if it's behind a paywall, which you can do on YouTube, I think those are protected.
Right.
But if you can't really, if it's out there, it's out
Yeah,
there.
they have the same rights on public networks to sort of do what we are allowed to do on YouTube. Our right to commentate on other people and use other
100%.
people's content. I could put up
Yep.
whoever's YouTube content in this content if I'm using it to discuss and transform. And
In fact, you've seen the little click box on the opening page of the load screen. At the bottom there, it says people can. It's like they word it like people can use, comment, they have several terms.
Yeah.
And it's just a click box at the bottom, and I'll bet you that plays into that.
Yeah.
Where if that's clicked, it's free reign.
Right.
Now, if you don't want that, I guess if you tried to download it or rip it, it wouldn't let you. But I'm not exactly sure how that works because I've always kept it clipped.
I think John Oliver did a whole segment about Chuck E. Cheese.
He did a
You
history.
did end up in there?
No,
That's crazy.
dude. It was 22 minutes long.
Did you watch it waiting for yourself?
Absolutely. This is a no-brainer. 22 minutes about Chuck E. Cheese. Something of mine's getting in there. Not a single frame.
I think you've been on my channel enough that most of the people that are going to come over to my podcast channel and listen to this are going to know you and know your thing.
I would
and
think
probably
so,
have
yeah.
seen your videos we've done together.
Yeah, we went up to two different Chuck E.
Yeah.
Cheeses because you had never been to one.
Yes, we went to the one in Evansville, Indiana,
Yep.
I believe, and then we went to the one in Louisville, outside
Yeah,
of
it was right
Louisville.
outside of Louisville. No, it was in Indiana. Oh, no, we went to the Louisville one and then the one right across
yeah.
the
we might
the
have went
river.
to three. Yeah, we went to three of them.
Oh, that's
we went
right.
to two
because we were
Yeah.
going, because we were going thrifting.
But at any rate, if you're watching it and it's not completely clear, he is the guy on YouTube for Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, is there...
Well, I've become. Oh no, there's obviously other people doing what I'm doing, but they weren't when I started it. So because the only thing when I started getting into the animatronics, I started seeing tons of videos on YouTube, but it was all real shaky videos of them performing. No one said a word of why this stage in this Chuck E. Cheese looks totally different from this one over here. And I was like, so I started researching why they had different stages. I started understanding the history, but no one was talking about that on video.
Is there anybody doing what you do specific to Chuck E. Cheese? I know there's more people like when I first saw what you were doing, the first thing I thought about, I think we discussed this with retail archaeology.
100%. Which I coined a different version of it, but I call my channel a retro archaeology channel.
Well, there is a guy called
The Retail Archaeologist.
He's in Phoenix.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's why I knew who he was because
Okay.
I had a couple ways in which I popped up in his videos. An antique mall he went to, I was in a booth. I forget what the other one was, but there was two occurrences where I posted my daily video, and then all the comments were about, you're on retail archaeology.
That's cool. That's cool.
But, so you do some version of that, but is there anybody doing what you do specific to Chuck E. Cheese that's doing as much as being more? That's what I thought.
Not at all.
I think that qualifies you as the guy.
It does. Well, I will say yes, and to support that, Chuck E. Cheese corporate reached out to me about a year and a half ago, and their new vice president of marketing is like, "Hey, I watched a lot of your videos. Love to come if you are in Dallas. Come down. We'll give you a tour of the campus." The Chuck E. Cheese campus. I was like, okay, I'll be there next week.
Yeah.
And immediately went. And we had a great tour, great visit. Mark's a really nice guy. I've talked to him multiple times since then. And up to that point, I had probably out of all my visits, because I think I was at around 100 visits then, I had been kicked out of about 6 to 7.
That's pretty good numbers.
Which is not bad, not bad. And when I say kicked out, I'm not doing anything creepy. However, I am a single big dude.
No
coming
kids
in
with you,
no
yeah.
kids, coming in with a camera, and it's right for a manager to be like, whoa, what's your intention?
Wait a second.
And I'm like, look, any kids get in my shot get edited out. They ruin my shot. I'm here for the animatronics. And like I said, 6 or 7 of them had been like, and no.
Yeah.
After that meeting at corporate, Mark said, just send your travel schedule. If you have one coming up, send it to us, and we'll make sure that never happens again. And sure enough, man, a year and a half later, I get the red carpet rolled out for me. I get food offered to me,
crazy.
game cards.
There's probably a memo somewhere that's like, look for this,
absolutely is.
look for this big bald fuck.
Bro, they probably have their
links.
own animatronic of you in the back, like their own
Don't you
shrine and
tease
everything.
Let me make a side note here. I often have to communicate to people when I'm trying to explain something in my own existence that like I'll be like, you don't know anybody bigger than me, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
no, you're right. I don't know, but you are you taller than I am?
Well, I'm 6'5". I think we're both 6'5".
Yeah, we're right. I'm 6'6". We
Yeah,
can't about the
I'm
same.
just a wide piece of meat. Man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can eclipse. If you have like sunlight on you and I'll walk up, you won't see me. You'll be like, what happened to the sun? And that's me.
Well, I would venture to guess you don't walk around with people as big as you, like me. Often,
That's why I
you know?
have a hump. I'm always looking down at people. I mean,
Well,
That's how it
I
goes.
don't want to derail the conversation with size, but I do say that to people all the time to convince them of something I'm trying to convince them of.
Yeah.
But like I do know one person bigger than me, and it's you. You're the only one. You're the only one.
It was really funny when we would get in your smart car because it was just like we were just shoulder to shoulder. It would just meet. There was no like sunlight or
Like
air brakes.
volumetrically, the car was filled.
It was 100%. There was no one was
Every
getting in there.
crevice was taken
That's
up.
correct.
Well, I'll tell you
is
what. He
correct.
drives a Mini Coupe, which has a back seat where my smart car didn't. Somehow still smaller.
That's insane.
I have to
like really is insane.
I have to like sit sideways. Let's talk a little bit more about you actually having contacts with Chuck E. Cheese corporate, and you will have to sort of lead the way as how much of this you want to get into.
Sure.
But tell us a little bit about my favorite part about what was happening on your channel, which is throughout time they're getting rid of the animatronics, and that's something you documented.
Yes. So when I started doing these, the reason I had started doing it, I was at a private collection in Mississippi, seeing he had a rocket fire explosion and a whole balcony stage, Chuck E. Cheese, in one room. And it's called Smitty's Super Service Station. And it's just in this old gas station on his property. And it's like going back into 1981. It's crazy. Anyway, he goes, hey, there's what they called the rocker stage, which I had never heard of. Up to that point, up till that very video, I even worked at Chuck E. Cheese. We always had a I thought every Chuck E. Cheese had the exact same layout. It never occurred to me that there would be different stages with different amounts of animatronics in each one.
Over different time periods too.
100%. Yeah, I had no idea, And I was like, okay, what's a rocker stage? And he told me it looks like the front porch of a house. And I was like, that's crazy. I've never even heard of that. He goes, well, they're about to tear it out. If you're up in that way, you should go. And I just happened to be going up to Wisconsin the next weekend, so I did. And it blew my mind. I had never seen a Chuck E. Cheese with a different stage than the one I had always grown up with or seen. And then while I was in there, I was talking to one of the managers, and he's like, yeah, ours, of course, getting ripped out of it. But they're ripping all of them out. Every single Chuck E. Cheese, and he even told me, by the end of next year, is going to be gone. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I better go look at all of these. Because he was like, there was like 8 stages that they had different kind of stages. So that's kind of what led to me doing all those stage visits, because I was rushing against them ripping them out. And they were ripping them out fast. So about a year and a half later, about a year and a half ago, that makes sense. They announced finally, Mark had let me know about that we're going to do it, but they had decided I know my videos came up in their board meeting, but so did some of the other YouTubers doing that. But he goes, we are going to start doing, right now it's just one, but we're going to try to add a couple more legacy stores. That's what they were calling them. And that was where they were going to do the remodel and add the video wall and the dance floor in, which is what they were remodeling. But they were going to keep the animatronics in it. And so that was a big deal. They did the first one in Northwest California. It's still there. And then they just started, now they're up to 6 legacy stores that have different stage types. And it's pretty cool because that was 100% fan led of them saving those, because they were absolutely going to rip every one of those out.
Do you think during that period they were like up in your comments, gauging reactions?
And if they were, that's exactly why they would have come to that decision, because there was no fans that were happy about these remodels.
I will say, I haven't known a whole lot about you and your channel before this, but Dallas has told me how much you've been.
I don't shut up about you.
He has told me quite
obsessed.
a bit, and I will say the literal second that I heard that they were bringing back the animatronics, I was like, well, Chris probably did it.
I definitely had a hand in it, yeah. But honestly, that was never a goal. I was trying to just get the stages documented because they were ripping all of them out. And I was like,
they were being brutal at first. I remember.
Well, the problem also was they were requiring the managers when they were ripping out to destroy them on video.
Right. That was what made
send
this
it to corporate.
That was what made this period of your channel and stuff a little bit salacious.
Because it was hard to talk about that without being like, what are you people doing?
Yeah,
This
come on,
is
guys.
insane. Yeah. And when I went to corporate, I talked to them about that. And, I was like, look, this, because it was still happening. They hadn't announced the legacy stage yet when I went to visit corporate. And I was like, he goes, well, we have this, it's our policy. And I was like, what does the policy say? And this was his quote. He goes, it's so that someone doesn't use those animatronics to start a competing pizza chain. And I said, Mark, I'm gonna be frank with you. Why in the world would anyone do that? You guys are constantly almost in bankruptcy, and you're the best at it in the world. Why would anyone think they're going to start a chain of it and be more successful?
You weren't able to get that stuff on camera, were you?
No, well, that's the thing. The corporate visit was not allowed to be filmed.
Yeah,
and of course,
which is not surprising.
I know, but I did do an aftermath video out in the lawn.
Were you just rehashing?
Yeah, but they let me take pictures.
Okay,
so I was able to show pictures on camera and all that and stuff. But yeah, I just couldn't do video. But yeah, he didn't have a good answer for it. And it's because that policy was put in place in the 1980s.
That's what
that was happening. Like there was a lot of pizza places that had animatronics. That was a real concern 40 years ago.
Yeah. Conservative estimate: how many sets of animatronics from stores have we lost?
Over 400. Dude. Yeah, I mean, not just lost, destroyed. Like they would take the animatronics faces and slash them in half.
Go ahead.
And it was horrifying, dude. Horrifying. And their whole thing was, we don't like that there's this huge aftermarket for them. I was like, you created it.
Yeah.
Because now there's so few of them.
Yeah.
They go for thousands of dollars each. And I was like, that's all you guys.
Let me ask my next question. If you hold your thought, would there have been enough collectors in the world to take all of that on if they could have been gotten?
1,000%.
Really?
Because now that I've gotten into this and seen how big this fan base is worldwide, we are talking, I would dare say, over 1 million fans. Because they have get-togethers.
Well, I've seen that through your videos, and I've definitely seen you go into enough people's garages and apartments and stuff where they have animatronic sets.
Yeah.
Is there enough of those people that all of those sets could have been taken care of, you think? Or would it be so oversaturated that everybody who wants one would have had one?
Well, there's also a room factor there, too. And obviously there's not just space, but the money factor. Fixing them up, getting the air compressors, all that, it's really is you got to be dedicated to it. However, I'll bet you 250 of those destroyed would have found homes easily.
Gotcha.
Easily.
Did you have something to say?
Really, I was just agreeing. Yeah, because I mean, dude, you see just even these random people on TikTok now where it's like the one guy who bought the Elvis impersonator, like it's not Chuck E. Cheese.
4 of them.
Yeah.
The king. Crazy. Yeah, he's got 4 of them. He even mounted one in his side of the Jeep, the passenger side of the Jeep. And it operates.
I have another question to add to that.
Yeah.
How often do you come across people that collect them that aren't the biggest Chuck E. Cheese fans specifically, as much as they're fans of animatronic? Oh, yeah. Because my appreciation of your Chuck E. Cheese content is that I just like animatronics.
100%.
I'm not a huge Chuck E. Cheese.
That's honestly what most people are.
Interesting.
However, you'll get into purists on both sides of Rockefeller purists, which are showbiz pizza only, and Chuck E. Cheese purists. Here's the crazy thing. In 1985, a lot of people don't realize this, Showbiz bought Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater, not the other way around. But dealing with the creator of the Rockefeller Explosion, his name's Aaron Fechter. He's the one that gave me the tour of his creative engineering. It's his company. That's gone now. And he was increasingly difficult to work with. And so by 1990, they came up with the plan to cut him out because he owned 20% of Showbiz and he owned the Rockfire. He wouldn't let them do what they wanted to do with the characters because he owned them. And so they decided to cut him out and came up with a whole new set idea to refer all the animatronics they had as Munch's Make-Believe Band.
Which is, to simplify, a lot of the animatronics as they are today are just reclothed ones from earlier businesses.
That's right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
If you're finding any of this interesting, for sure, Chris has deep dive videos explaining a lot of this more in depth than we have time for here on his channel. So go dig them up. And I'm very into that. One of my other favorite channels besides for this kind of thing, Retail Archaeology.
Yeah.
This is not the exact same.
No, it's slightly different. But I will say that he also, and I don't do all the things that he does, but he gave me ideas to do other things because I was running out of Chuck E. Cheese's to go see. I had seen that, most of them had gotten rid of the animatronics. This was around 110 visits. I was starting to get real sparingly. And I was like, okay, well, I need to pivot to something that these fans still love. I've always been a real fan of fast food history.
Oh, yeah.
And I did notice a lot of times when I would get comments from fans, animatronic fans, there was always stuff about different fast food chains. And so I started doing history of fast food videos. And those, honestly, overall, have gotten more hits than any of my Chuck E. Cheese's.
Well, it's cool. And it's, I like the animatronics for the jazzy stuff, but like some of your history videos, like I'll randomly, your face will pop up in my feed, and I'll click on it and watch you talk about. I don't know. I think there's a KFC one.
Oh yeah, the KFC, the world's biggest KFC in Salt Lake City, and that was actually the world's first KFC.
Right.
Which is insane.
And then the Electric City one you made the other day.
Circuit City.
That's
right. Yeah, the electronic store.
He did a video on that, and I swear to God, it's just him talking. That's the whole
100%
video
because it's abandoned.
Because there's nothing else to show other than the outside of the building. But I was riveted the whole time. I was just like, I would,
It's a crazy story. I loved Circuit City growing up. Circuit City and Best Buy were like fighting, and Best Buy won.
Oh boy, did they! That's pretty crazy.
Me and my dad were really big fans of Radio Shack whenever I was a kid.
So I've got my history of Radio Shack video on my laptop right now, which is broken. I've got to get that off.
Oh, no.
I didn't back up about 30 unedited vlogs. And I've realized this weekend it broke. So I was like, okay, that was a foolish move. But my history of Radio Shack's already on there. I filmed it. One of the oldest ones is here in Indiana.
Didn't know that.
And I forget the name of the town, but I went to it. It's still open. And the guy that started it in the 60s is still running it behind the counter.
Really?
And he'll talk to you, and there's all this branded still merchandise of Radio
He's
Shack.
still allowed to use the IP?
Because it was, back then, they just did like lifelong contracts. To them, they were like 50 years in the future. They don't care. They weren't thinking about that. And so, yeah, he's just had this. It's an electronics store that's his, but because they do Radio Shack, it's a Radio Shack. But it's not a corporate one. That's why it lasted. And it's a really interesting history that goes way back.
Well, I in this room behind us, I have boxes of audio adapters and audio components.
Yeah.
They're all radio. They're all old
100%.
Radio Shack.
Because even when Best Buy started, you couldn't go get some of that stuff at Best Buy. Radio Shack
Still
was
can't.
the place to get it.
Yeah, and I do a lot of that stuff because I adapt a lot of stuff to do the stuff we do.
100%.
Matter of fact, on our next podcast, we're working on a thing to get some stuff on old CRTs. It'll be 100%. It will be 100% Radio Shack parts.
Yeah, it would have
still today in 2025.
That's true.
That I'm using to do it.
You can build anything from Radio Shack Electronics.
No doubt.
Anything.
Well, let's talk about your laptop because you haven't told me about this.
Dude.
Do you have a path forward to getting
I
it
do,
on?
because I think it's just the screen. Because what happened was I closed it, and it closed weird, and one of my earbuds was in it. And I opened it, I could see just the flash of a crack, and then the whole screen went black. I can hear it boot up fine, but the screen's black. So I ordered a replacement screen from Amazon.
Okay.
And it's got delivered today.
Does the laptop itself have any kind of HDMI out or anything?
Not at all.
Is it new enough to have USB-C?
Yes.
Well, let me send you away with a USB-C.
Because I can patch it in with a screen. Is that what you're kind of getting?
Have you done that?
I haven't done it yet because I don't have an extra screen. However, I'm hoping tomorrow. Well, I'll definitely need it tomorrow if this new screen doesn't work.
Okay, well, if I can find one in here, I'll give you a USB-C to HDMI.
Yeah, because I already bought a new hard drive too.
And you can just plug it into a hotel TV.
Yes.
And at
I'll be
least
able
gives
to-
you someone your hard
Yeah,
drive.
if I can just start the transfer.
Yeah.
I can't believe I got into such a good habit of backing up in two places. Then I got lazy last year. And it's been fine. And now all of a sudden I've got all these episodes, and that's the only spot it's on.
Yeah.
I also have no way to edit right now too. So
are you got a hiatus for posting, or
Um,
your 50,000 subs thank you video was probably just a cell phone straight upload, wasn't it?
it was. And at the end of it, I was like,
I didn't notice. I'm just now realizing.
I literally talk about this about 3 minutes in. I'm like, okay, we got all the things done. Here's the bad news.
Yeah.
No more videos from Set Streets and Eights for a little bit. I'm at least going to miss, I don't really miss uploads. I do 2 a week. And I'm going to miss at least Wednesdays.
That sucks.
You know, unless I can get this thing up and going.
It's kind of awesome we're able to do this today because both of us are going in different directions, and we're just able to meet up and do this. Otherwise, if we both had time to be here, I could get stuff off that hard drive.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not panicking yet, because I know it's the screen. I think it's the screen. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because when you boot it up, everything sounds like it's
If you
running
hear the
just
boot
fine.
sign,
Oh,
that's a good
But
sign.
it's
that
just the screen.
That's a good sign the hard drive's fine, and that's what matters.
That's
right now. If
that's
it doesn't fix it, you're gonna go get you a new laptop.
I will, but I also have to find a way to get that stuff off there, which I guess with a new laptop, I would just hook it in together and do it. So, yeah, that's what I'll have to do.
Yeah.
And thank goodness Google pays today, so that'll help.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny about that? Let's talk about that for a second. It is the 21st. 21st is the day that that YouTube AdSense money hits your account.
That is correct.
And I'm just back to daily posting.
Sure.
Let's talk about me.
Yes,
for a second.
please.
I haven't daily posted in a serious way
Yeah,
since
a long time.
I don't know what year, but maybe 2023 or
Yeah,
something.
it was. Is that when you were doing dailies? Because I think you were just doing weekly,
quit.
wasn't it?
I think that's when I quit.
Was it 20? Oh, that's when you quit. Yeah.
Because I know I did it through 2021 and most of 2022. It could have been the end of
Yes.
2022 before I quit.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's crazy, and maybe you have some insight. I've got another YouTuber friend that I talked to about the analytics of YouTube and stuff. But like, I'm doing daily right now, and I'm only topping out at 3,000 views on the daily video, and maybe channel-wide 5, which is not in the grand scheme of things.
Well,
it's
to
not
make
a
you
lot.
feel better, I do have a lot of standout videos, but my average video with 50,000 subscribers is 3,000 views.
That doesn't surprise me. That's pretty common across
I
the
think
board.
it is too.
You know, when we were doing math on the other day, I was like, how many views would it take me at the rate I'm going right now?
Yeah.
Which I'll come back to, because I was going to make a very specific point about the numbers. But like, I was kind of figuring like, if I could get 30,000 daily views,
Oh my God.
I'd be making the amount of money I need to be
You'd be
comfortable.
making a crazy amount of money.
Well, but what I'm getting at though is I'm making these I'm getting 5,000 channel views a day.
Which has always been great. I've told you before, I'm always jealous of your average video views.
Well, and I appreciate that.
they're so high.
And anytime I get to sit beside a YouTuber friend and compare analytics, it's surprising because that daily thing works magic. That on the daily video, when you just look at a single number, it doesn't look like it adds up.
Right.
But it does. But what I'm getting at though is I'm making more per 1,000 views right now than I was back in those daily
bet you
videos. So I want to make more this month.
Yeah.
I'm going to make as much this month as I ever made.
Yeah.
And at the height of my daily.
Isn't that
profit,
crazy?
when I was getting 50,000 daily.
See, this is the thing about YouTube where they're just like, here's all this information. Now you figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. And you don't,
I don't know.
the only way you really figure it out is with the YouTube trends.
That's
so
right.
I do
That's
think
right.
plenty of people like to watch my channel, probably yours too, that are in this world contemplating wanting to be a YouTuber. So hopefully some of this is useful to you, but it's probably not going to be because it's also
Not
random.
until you're in the weeds with it, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's what they're talking about. Why is this metric not going up, but this one is?
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me.
Well, it is. Like, and I'm having a real weird time analytically right now because I'm almost having a bunch of number ones. YouTube ranks for video 1 out of 10, but it's like they almost don't quite hit 1 because it's like there's 2 out of 3 metrics that matter, and I keep nailing 2 and out the third.
Do you think that's because you're doing daily? Like they if they get 2 days behind, they might skip the last 2 and do the today's?
Could be. I don't know the answer, and I can't say I know enough to know the answer. But what I do know is that, well, and I can't even say I know this, but what I feel like I've heard through the grapevine, both from discussing it with other YouTubers like yourself, but also consuming a little bit of content that people make about this kind of thing.
Sure.
In the Casey Neistat era,
Yeah.
daily, in which is I started at the end of, the algorithm was hungry for daily content.
they were.
And then there was all this burnout, and there was all this criticism of YouTube for not taking that more serious.
Yeah.
The algorithm started to shun daily content, and that would have been around the time I
bizarre.
quit. But we're back in a place where it's wanted again.
Yeah, because now all these AI videos, they don't want those anymore, thank God. But they didn't come out till just, a week or 2 ago about it?
Yeah.
Like, they've been letting this just fester, and these videos are the scourge of YouTube, TikTok, short, all of it. And it's because it's not creator content. They just, you look at those commercials, are like, make $5,000 a month making faceless videos. Why?
Yeah.
Why don't we have enough creative people out there? We don't need it.
There's so many people doing that too. Like
Oh, my God.
I will say the algorithm knows I like the AI Bigfoot videos, and I've been watching them by the thousand. But when I start paying attention, I'll get 10 in a row, and they'll all be different creators.
I'll bet.
But they're all quite similar. It's odd.
Right.
But at any rate, it is an interesting thing being a YouTuber at this point. But let me talk just one more. I want to get back to some of your channel stuff, but this is something I wanted to raise with you. The funny thing about my channel is I do have this magical thing with daily where my daily views can equal someone much bigger than me for a weekly video. Sure. And that's always been a thing for me, and I've always been very thankful for it. But you know what? Still to this day, my most viewed video is sitting at 53,000 views.
Is that right?
I've never, and it was over time. It's still a good performing video. To where, like, at this point, the video over several years has made $1,000 or something like this.
Sure.
But it never happened virally. I've never once had any video on my YouTube channel, short or regular or otherwise, pop off. Well, never once.
Get this. I have my top 2 videos. One's my CEI tour, and the other one is the world's largest Chuck E. Cheese in San Jose. And the one has almost 1 million views. The other one has, I think, 750,000 views. I've made almost double the money off of the 750,000 video compared to the top one. Figure that out.
If that doesn't tie into what you were just
I
saying.
have zero clue why.
Yeah.
Like
It's just BS at that point.
dude. Like that. The big video that popped out the first time, I was like, oh, I've made several $1,000, and then you look at the other one, you're like, oh my god, it's double.
Yeah, like before someone pops
Yeah.
up that says, well, it has a higher CPM. Okay, sure.
Sure.
But we don't know why it
We
has a higher
don't know
CPM.
why.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing, and I the last time I sat beside another YouTuber and we both had the same model MacBook,
Yeah.
like looking at each other, bringing up the same analytic pages, and I told them I was like, I feel a little bit robbed, and honestly, I know there's probably an explanation where like I didn't do something right, and I know I've had a lot of lack of consistency on my page over the years. I've quit, I've come back, but I just always thought for those first few years I was gonna finally have that video because all my YouTuber friends have one video.
Yeah, that's
Five-
usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes.
And I'm here to tell you now I'm still waiting for it to happen.
It'll happen. I mean, it's gonna happen because I guess again how much content you do put out now. It's bound to happen.
Well, I wonder if my 50,000 view video isn't one of these days just finally gonna hit whatever it needs to go to a million.
I've had a few of my higher videos get real good views at the first and then kind of die. And then a year later, I had that happen in my last Kmart video. It got like 60,000 views. And I was like, sweet. And then it just died. I mean, hard. And then like a year later, it in 1 month went over 200,000.
And who knows why?
I had no clue why.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
From my perspective as someone who hasn't dealt with this nearly as long as either of you two have, what it really feels like is like back whenever you were in elementary school or whatever, and the teacher would give you guys like different tests, like with different questions on it, and like after it was over, you and your friends would like see
So you
which
can't
questions you
cheat.
got. Yeah, so it's like you're just trying to puzzle piece all these things together after the fact,
Yeah.
and it's like it's just impossible.
I've got some YouTuber friends that definitely have it all down way better than I will.
You have it all down way better than me because I'm always like, oh, okay, oh, that's what he's talking about. And I'll look it up in the analytics. I'm like, oh, okay, I still don't know what that means.
And that's funny because you're only getting it from me, as I've probably got it regurgitated from others.
100%.
I don't know that I've got it. I don't know. Like, I'll tell you something that might be helping my CPM and the slightly increased amount is that I am trying way harder on cover photos and titles.
I know that makes a huge difference.
And I
It
thought
does.
and it's the
and I'm
first.
terrible at thumbnails. Oh my god.
Well, the frustrating thing for me over the years with YouTube is I often know better, but didn't always have the gumption to do the work.
Sure.
The video that was on my channel by the time we watched this yesterday. I probably spent an hour and a half editing and about 3 hours in the cover photo.
Is that right?
And I'm not going to do that every night, but
know.
I've been trying to figure out a happy medium where I can maximize clicks. Because something else, I said last thing already, but last thing really on my end, I'm having really great daily views, but my growth is just not happening. I'm not going up
I
hardly.
feel like it's got to kick in because really you're still in. Think of it this way: yes, you had a channel before and it was inconsistent. It's just past that inconsistent period. You're less than a month into the new way it's going to be. I think your analytics are going to change a month from now.
You know, it's funny you say that because when I do look back on my original run daily posting, it wasn't until I had a couple months of content for new
100%,
viewers to go back and binge.
100%.
So there's probably something there.
Yeah.
But man, you've been doing it how long? What year did you start?
In 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I feel like that's before I started.
No, you were already at a channel then.
I don't feel like I popped off until
Yeah,
COVID,
that might
though.
be. I mean, who knows? Yeah,
which
that
is
might be.
2021.
I just
Well, that's
No,
2020.
wait, I figured it out.
Yeah.
About the time you're talking about would have been the first time I dabbled with posting some things online. Do you remember
Gotcha.
I made some home vlogs running around? I made I made a green screen,
Yep.
but I didn't figure. There was a couple year period in between me trying it and flirting with it before I started.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
my true start didn't come until late 2020.
Okay.
So
That
you
makes
might
sense, then.
really have a jump on me in terms of when you got serious about
That
it.
could be.
Not that,
could
it has
be.
anything to do with anything.
No,
but-
I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I got lucky. Like I said, it was on the struggle bus for the first 3 years, man. But I did it because I loved doing them.
Right.
But they were not getting viewed. Like, not getting. And look, I can't even say that I'm out of that because I guess it was about 2 years ago. I was getting great thousands and thousands of views on every video. And then I went and did a show in Alaska. And I did one of my favorite vlogs I've ever filmed. I went to the top of a mountain to watch the Northern Lights.
Oh,
and I was
man.
doing time lapses, all this stuff. Like my camera froze. Like I was documenting it. Like I got done editing that video, and I was like, "This is the one."
It's it.
and it still has 300 views. 2 years later.
I know, man, do I know the
It's
stories? Well, here's the reality of the situation. There's probably a really good chance that, even though we're talking about the difference in our analytics, there's probably a really good chance that we have similar amounts of money made up to this point. In all
Probably
of this.
is.
But
Very
it's just
likely.
two sides of one coin where it's like I've got a daily grind that does something consistently, and you've got one. And
I'm happy to share. I don't care.
I mean, well, which parts we can look.
Let's pull these bad boys out.
I am just curious, and this is all just
Because I don't often look at the lifetime.
yeah. Let's both go to our analytics
Yeah.
tab and go to lifetime.
And because most of the time I don't understand these numbers. So
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Let's.
Let's see. How do I even
I was gonna say, I'm not
I don't even get over to it.
I think if we go to content
I'm looking for date.
and then views, I think I can find my lifetime views, and it's not.
I know I've looked at it on this app before. Because it's automatically, of course, set to the last 28 days.
Yeah.
And I know there's.
Well, while you look for it, I'll
Yes.
talk about some of my numbers.
Yeah.
Lifetime video views for me is sitting at 4.1 million.
Nice.
Which is
a great number.
Well, it is cool for a smaller creator, somebody with 15,000 subs. It is a high number.
It is a good number.
But it's funny because, like, we all have YouTubers we love that are doing that every month.
Oh,
or sometimes in a few videos.
I know.
And I can't imagine what that's like because I think I looked at it the other day. I think for 4 million views over, I don't know how to use that. I've only made.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Did you find like?
Yeah. So if you click on each one, you can hit lifetime. So on my views, lifetime views, 12,075,000.
See, here's the hard part though. This is for math. This is not for the sake of comparison at all. Could you find and do you care to share lifetime amount made? Because I just looked at mine and it's only about.
It doesn't bother me at all because, I mean, nobody really ever asks anyway.
Right.
But,
Well, for me, I looked at it just the other day, and it's sitting right around 30,000. And I'm curious what your dollar amount is, sitting at the fact that you're 4 times.
I
3
know
times.
that I've looked at it before. It was a long time ago, but I was over 40.
Okay.
But let me find. Here we go. Estimated revenue. Go to lifetime. Now we are at. Boom, 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 boom. 64,069 cents.
Okay. I'm at 33,000 lifetime.
But
And-
mine's. I got monetized. I think 3. It was right around the time I started on animatronic, so about a little over 3 years ago.
If I did the math, I would think about 25 to 28,000 of that, and you
Yeah.
can see it in my graph. It all happened in that.
Same, dude. Same graph.
For me, it happened around that COVID time when I really popped off.
Yeah.
But so you have 3 times as many lifetime views,
Right.
but only double
Only
the amount of
double,
money
yeah.
and not triple.
Figure that out.
So, for me,
yeah.
I don't know the answer, but I think there is something magic rolled up in having a successful run as a daily post.
And also, how many videos do you have up?
Oh my God,
It's so
1,000.
much more than mine.
1,000.
I'm at I'm almost 600.
Okay.
But that's so much more content than me.
I don't know if it's easy to find that number, but I know
either.
I know it's probably 1,000. Because I know my daily videos I stopped at 780 something.
You also gotta ask
videos.
too. Like I just thought of this. I don't know if you guys manually place yours or not, or if you have them automatic. But like also, how often is YouTube rolling ads in your videos?
Well, around
like-
Christmas is when I notice revenues go way up. And they even send out an email. They sent out an email last year that said, we have more advertisers this time of year, so we make sure you create more content.
I didn't know that.
And I was like, okay. And man, up through February when you're still getting those Christmas checks, it's like, dude, these are fat. I love it. And then March is like, you're like, oh.
Man, I need to hold on and work hard during Christmas then.
That's what they say. So
That's an interesting thing to do, though. If you're
you heard it here first.
well, I've done this over dinner
Yeah.
with friends, and I've definitely done it. Like I was over at a friend's house years ago when I was he was at 50,000 subs then, and I was only
Yeah.
at it's funny because I'm at 15 now. I was probably at 6 then, and in just about every way but views, my stats had matched his, and we were dumbfounded and trying to figure it out, and we just came to the conclusion then, as much as we do now, that it just has to be daily. I mean,
Well,
daily.
it has to be. Also, keep this in mind. I've got probably 20 videos that have popped off big numbers.
Right.
and you have that one, I think the algorithm responds to popping off videos more. They have to. Otherwise, why do I have so many? You know what I mean? Because then you get a whole bunch, and you'll look at videos that pop off, and you'll be like, "Oh, I got 1,000 subs off of that video."
Right.
Well, those people, if they're and you're still making that kind of content, well, that's 1,000 more people you didn't have before watching that second video.
Right.
And then that one pops off. So I think it really is tied to videos doing well. And if you don't have as many, maybe that's why the sub number stays low, even though you have consistently great daily views.
Yeah. Well, I hope nothing I've said sounds like complaining, because there is.
Oh, no, not at all.
But there's for sure about 3,000 people in my 15,000 subs that are
Yeah.
just like they've been here since day
Sure.
one. They're ride or die.
100%.
And that's cool. And that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's in a relatively hard period of my life. It's helped with some stability and
Oh,
income.
imagine.
So
Well, I mean, you know how it is. We all watch content on YouTube. Everybody does. And you have certain people that you're like, I really like this guy's video. But there's probably 20,000 people doing exactly the same videos as that guy. And you might watch some and you're like, no, I like this guy's. We like who we like.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's like picking art.
well, it is quite similar. You dislike. Sometimes you're actually there's a guy the other day coming out on my video who was just like, this channel gets on my nerves so bad.
And I'm watching
Yeah.
it constantly.
But I just replied, me too, dude.
Yeah.
but but it's like honestly, like I'm not even mad about it, because like I'm sure, like especially with my teeth doing what they're doing because of my surgeries, and I'm just this big funny looking guy. There's no doubt
dude.
people look at me and just go,
I delete comments probably every day that are just people coming on and being like, this guy is so fat. Dude, what my favorite one was, it was a month or so ago. This guy comes on this video, he's like, hey guys, listen, Chris is doing such hard work for us. You guys shouldn't be calling him a big back. And he wearing this and I immediately typed, who is calling me a big back? I had to ask my daughter, I was like, is big back a thing? And she's like, oh yeah, it's for fat people. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, Lord, no idea. It was just the funniest comment. Like, guys, there's a lot of this going on. I'm like, where?
You've entered the bubble.
What are you talking about?
I always tell people like this. Doing the daily videos the way I did with the intensity that I had at the first go around.
Sure.
There's nothing that could be said about my appearance that hasn't been said.
100%.
So that stuff
100%.
I don't have. That's not the stuff that bothers me. Most of the comments I've ever spent any time deleting
Yeah.
are usually negative about someone else.
I got you.
Or-
I'll explain why I delete my
go
name.
ahead.
It's not because I don't care. But what happens, I have a lot of younger viewers because of the animatronic thing, and what they'll do is they'll get on and start defending me.
That happens, yeah.
And then it just all of a sudden
It kind of
comes where they're
derails.
calling each other names,
Yeah.
and I'm like, guys, it's fine. Like, I don't care. I'm not over here crying because I got called a big bag.
Yeah.
It's like, calm down. So I ended up deleting those just so that doesn't happen.
I'm sorry I laughed so hard whenever you said that, by the way.
Well, it was also the delivery.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. I'm just like, what?
Big back is the funniest new
It's
Gen
totally-
Alpha
I've never
term
heard it.
to-
I
Dude,
had
it
never
is one of my
heard it. I had to
favorites.
ask my daughter. She's 21. I was like, "What's a big bag?" She goes, "Oh, if you're fat." I'm
Dude.
like, "That was a real thing." I thought he had missed like.
I'm actually
like,
gonna go.
it is so
I'm actually
funny.
gonna go.
you mean yourself? Is that what you're talking about?
Pulls a mirror behind her back. Just,
And evidence.
Yeah. Well, this is all pretty arresting because I don't spend a lot of time deleting comments. I do have a few words and,
Sure,
and things
100%.
blocked that don't ever be posted.
Right. I get those until I did that. I would do the premieres would have a lot of people that would just like throw out horrible words. You know,
Oh, yeah.
guy, like block you, like you
Sure.
know. And I was like, I don't want to sit here and monitor this every Sunday, you know. So
Well, I don't want to throw Reed under the bus, but he's
Yeah.
he's got his own channel now.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Calm down.
he's all tit stuff.
I've modded him up on all my accounts.
Oh, nice,
He was
nice.
he was deleting some comments the other day that were probably reasonable to delete. But
Sure.
like, I try not to have a very high threshold, so
Sure.
I undeleted some.
Yeah,
and we had never communicated this, so he was re-deleting them.
and we were like going back and forth, and I was like, "Who the fuck keeps undeleting things?"
I think YouTube's calling me this name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this person was, a lot. Obviously, there's a lot going on in my life, and
Yeah.
there is just like, if you had 3,000, 5,000 people watching every day, there's gonna be 5 or 6.
100%. And this was one of
Always.
those situations where it was like he was acting super nice at first. Like I think we were kind of bantering with him, and then like all of a sudden he was just like trying to drop these bombshells. It's like, dude,
Just
get the fuck out of
turn,
here!
yeah.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
Well, dude, think about it. You are. Oh my God, my train of thought literally just derailed as soon as I started talking. But it was about that.
Something got my life being crazy.
Well, yeah, and you're gonna get people that are gonna have their opinion on it, or asked for or not, and it's never asked for. It's always just right there. But here's my original point was. They still watched the video. They're at least clicked on it. You still got that money. Because that used to be my first response to anyone doing that. I'm like, well, thanks for the video anyway. Yeah, seriously. Because I would have people comment on like, when you ate that cheeseburger, it was disgusting. It's so gross. I'm like, that was 14 minutes into the video, bro. Thank you.
So at least 3 ads.
Exactly. So I'm like, I don't, say what you want.
I mean, obviously you get the personal attacks about your looks and stuff.
Oh,
but
sure.
like, do you have some small number of people that are watching that are like obsessive and watch everything and you recognize their names?
Very much so. Mostly because animatronics was the other thing I found. It has a lot of kids on the spectrum that are into animatronics. And I've always tried to, sure, but it's a universal thing. And I'm like, that's awesome. And then, in fact, I was just once again at BillyCon last weekend. BillyCon is the annual convention at Billy Bob's Wonderland that celebrates the Rockefeller Explosion and all animatronics. And I've been a guest the last 2 years. And most of the people in line to meet me are definitely that. And
That's awesome.
and you ask any of those kids, what is the history of this character, and you will learn something.
Encyclopedic knowledge.
Because they absolutely have it down. And it's really cool to watch. But that's what most of my fan base for animatronics is. Now, the fast food history fan base is definitely more normal adults. So it is fun watching those two
Other big facts
those
like
two
us,
worlds
yeah.
interact. That's right. That's right. So but again, anyone that puts out a lot of video content is going to get people that, and they post out of jealousy, they post out of just being mean or being angry about something in their life. Look, I don't know everybody's struggles, but yeah, a lot of them will just post horrible stuff. And you're just like, okay, is this one worth leaving up? Or do I need to head this off at the pass before someone's like, you don't call Chris a big bag?
Yeah.
Which now makes we're talking about, I wonder if someone had posted something and then he jumped in and they deleted it. I hadn't actually thought about that till just now.
You never-
But it would fit better.
I mean, you get the video that goes well. Sometimes the comments, you'll never see them all.
Well, not only that, but yeah, I try to, when I premiere something, I try to always answer comments that day, but a lot of times it gets out of hand because I do on Sundays. I'm always working at a con on Sundays, so it can get a little out of hand, and I won't get back till Tuesday or something, and by then there's 200, and you're
These
just
are a
like,
thread with 200 messages.
yes.
Half of them defending good, half of them attacking
And
good.
by then you're like, oh yeah. Then you just close out the video and be like, I'll never click on that again.
Well, I ended up that way a lot too, and we'll have to put a button on this because we're going to run out of time. There's one more thing we do have to talk about. But
Sure.
I will say, with all the weirdness going on in my life and having to jump back into YouTube in that time, like, there's definitely I get comments, and even now, my audience could be just this level of like invested that like I'll even get messages that are just like asking me things about things that never happened or aren't real, and just like,
Because in the vacuum, people will make up their own truth.
that's a hard-boiled lesson.
It is. But there's
that's-
nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
You can tell them the absolute truth and be like, I don't think that's how that went.
Yeah, that's not juicy enough. Let's talk about this one last thing. You're having your own convention.
I am at
So
the Retro Eats Expo.
Huge news.
Yeah, I'm doing it November 22nd and 23rd in Columbus, Ohio at the Ohio State Fairgrounds. It's going to be like walking into an episode of my vlog. It celebrates all fast food history, eatery history, breakfast cereal, toys, you name it. And I've got tons of authors and artists coming, and we're going to have vendors that are selling everything from Happy Meal toys to old advertising signs for fast food. It's going to be a first of its kind convention. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Me and Reed have been talking about it. We want to be there.
I hope you.
And you guys heard the dates and times and what and when and
22nd,
where.
23rd. RetroEatsExpo.com has all the info, and you can buy your tickets now.
Yeah, and definitely as of now, if you want to come hang out with me and Reed and stuff. And
me.
I was going to say Chris, but I feel like you're going to be so busy.
I probably am. Well,
Don't say shit to him.
My business partner's like, listen, I'm going to make sure you have some time at an autograph table because I'm going to need your crowd to show up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine. We can definitely do that. So, yeah, I hope everybody takes a chance on it. The really exciting thing, one of the really exciting things we're going to do is I've got, I think 5 or 6, no, it is 6. We've got 6 animatronics that are going to be operating on the vendor floor. And like people will be able to come up, take photos with them, and then they're actually going to play shows. I think that I'm really excited about because what I have discovered doing these videos is so many people haven't been in a Chuck E. Cheese or whatever since they were kids, but they still love the animatronics. And they haven't seen one of these in 30 years. And they're going to be able to see them in action from different eras.
See, this is something that I have like such a huge appreciation for because I've never been to a Chuck E. Cheese before, ever, my entire life.
I took them the first time.
And so, like, it's something I've always wanted to do growing up, but I just never got to, and now it's all gone. Like, everything that I wanted to go for is gone now, and so you being able to preserve that is something I appreciate so much.
I think that's why that's so popular.
Yeah.
Is because people had the same thought when they found out that Chuck E. Cheese was getting rid of them, and they went to their local one, it was already gone. They're like, I haven't seen those since I was a kid, and then people started missing them.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about how you're getting the word out for the con, just out of personal curiosity, because like I feel like a lot of the other people I know that do cons of their own, it's like influencers. Let's get a bunch of influencers coming.
Right.
But like, is there a lot of Chuck E. Cheese fast food influencers that can come?
No, there's one other one. She's kind of new to the game, but she's been growing rapidly this year, and she's definitely coming. I invited Adam the Woo, talked with him through email about it. He's gonna try to make it, but probably not. You know, and because Adam's very shy about making appearances, he's probably not going to announce that he's coming. But I can only imagine how popular it would make my con next year.
No doubt. Just because he was there.
But I've put messages out to Carpetbagger and a few of the other big vloggers that have that niche interest. We'll see. I really want to see it vlogged by multiple people. I know I won't have a lot of time to do any vlogging that weekend. I'm definitely going to set cameras up and let them run. But I'm not going to have time to do what I do. So I'm hoping to get a lot of vloggers to show up at the show. If they show up and you're a vlogger, you're going to see stuff you've never seen before. So it would behoove you to attend the Retro Eats Expo for sure.
I don't want to volunteer myself for too much, but I kind of feel like I need to show up just to follow you around the camera.
That would be awesome.
Maybe I come and do a booth so we make the money to make it work.
There you go.
He run the booth and I follow you with a camera.
Yep, you run the booth, make some sales, and we film some content. I'm not sure what to expect. I've never promoted a show before. I luckily have a business partner named Tim Hyde who runs shows for a living. That is basically sponsoring this to get it on its feet. So I'm pretty fortunate there to have that expertise. As like what you were saying about advertising, I know he's had a lot of success with social media ads. We also have a team that he uses to basically cover the city a month out and blanket it with flyers and advertising. And so he's got stuff that kind of is already in place for his conventions that we're going to use. So I'm hoping that comes out. However, there's this wild card factor of this convention, or type of the convention, has never happened before. We don't know if people are excited like they are about anime or comics. So it's like one of those things where I'm going to make sure the con's fun. I don't know how many people are going to show up. And no matter what, whoever does show up is going to have a good time. And I want that word of mouth to carry us into next year.
Have you discussed this with your contact at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes. So I asked Mark, and they were soft no at first. But I asked him, I was like, look, Saturday night of the show, I'd love to do a charity auction where we'll have people like you pick a charity, and then you give us a lot of that stuff that you're now saving because of fans instead of destroying. And I was like, we would love to have that as an auction. And he goes, honestly, I like that idea. It's the expense of getting it there. And I was like, okay, I understand that.
From where?
Because it'd have to be coming from Kansas, which is where they have a huge warehouse in Canton. I forget where.
I don't want to sidetrack the conversation, but is this not one of those things that comes up in the course of doing what we do where we're just like, if money wasn't an option,
I know.
I would love to hop in a truck or trailer right now,
dude,
be a part of this and go get it.
Like I immediately wanted to offer that, but I was like, how am I going to do it? Where am I going to store it? How long is it going to, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to be like, dude, I'll take care of that. I'll come get it. But I'm like, I can't. Money is a factor.
And just because we talked a bunch about YouTube, I think some of my favorite, more successful YouTubers like Heavy D Sparks, I watch it. It's a guy that does cars and diesel trucks. I like him a lot. But his channel works out so well because he has the ability. Right. The moment he gets that call, I'm on the way. 100%. And that's a video that performs well. And it
American Pickers is the exact same concept where they can go anywhere they want and they have the money. Yeah.
It seems to me like we need to go get the bus.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, we're bringing a bus. We're going to need you.
Each show is going to have a different animatronic.
Can you imagine? Like, honestly, for an auction like that, you'd almost only be able to have a couple animatronics, but what would really sell is all that artwork that they rip off the floor from different eras, or off the walls from different eras at Chuck E. Cheese's, and then cosmetics for the animatronics. Like, there's so much stuff that they are now keeping that they were destroying. They're keeping it now. And he even said, we're having trouble figuring out what we're going to do with it, which was why I was like, I have an idea. So I'm going to keep working on them about that. If I can arrange something like that, going to get it, first of all, the video it would make would be priceless.
Yeah.
But I think it would be really cool. They get to pick the charity, and it's the same thing with McDonald's or Wendy's. So I approached Wendy's and White Castle. Wendy's has completely ignored me, but I'm going to keep trying on them. White Castle said no, they didn't want to be a part of it, but they're giving us free slider coupons for everybody to give out.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So, and they sent me I don't want to call it an influencer box, but it's like a box of stuff that you can do an unboxing video for. So I got that sitting at home waiting.
Hey, that's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
It's definitely a build it and they will come type situation.
I think so.
If year one is successful, they'll come next year.
I agree, and that's why I want to make it as fun as possible, because that's what will make someone be like, not only am I not missing it, I'm bringing all my friends next year.
I want to say to you guys watching, like, I've been to cons and I've told you guys I was going to be there, and there's inevitably people that show up that were really flattering. You're like, you're the only reason I came, and that makes me look good when they say that on camera, because the people are going to want to get me in. But like, for sure, if you guys ever want to do me a personal favor, and you're in the area in Ohio and this happens, please
Columbus,
go.
Ohio. You'll have a good time.
I don't get too excited about cons, but I also don't have as close as a friend like you that's putting on one.
Well, very true. That's true. And also cons are my business. I sell art at cons every weekend, city every weekend.
Which I really would like to dive into, but we are out of time.
Sure.
We got to get going. And literally, talk about perfect timing. My baby JJ has just woken up.
He slept the whole time.
He slept right
and
through the podcast.
he just got up.
He's wide awake now, but we got to get going. Thanks for watching. Tell us the dates and time of the con.
November 22nd, 23rd, the Retro Eats Expo.com. You'll find all your info on that. Columbus, Ohio, this November.
Is there also our Facebook? Is there a way to
we have Facebook, we've got X, we've got Instagram, all Retro Eats Expo. Check us out, follow us, follow along. We're already doing guest announcement. We got Guy Gilchrist, a master Muppeteer. He's coming, an artist, and all the artists that are coming are doing exclusives. We have the official McDonald's artist is going to be there, Glenn Wally.
Oh,
we have two of the greatest Chuck E. Cheese artists that ever lived. They did every Chuck E. Cheese piece of art from 1990 to 2004. Charlie Rose and Dan Peeler, they're coming. They're bringing all kinds of prints and exclusives. It's going to be a new thing because these guys never got recognition. They just worked for companies that created the art as a contract, and their names are never on it because it just gets put into the stores. And now I want to make these guys household names because they deserve it. I mean, these guys are incredible.
This is a great way for them to get recognition. I mean, the level of obsession is going to show up to your con. That's what I'm hoping.
That changed.
Check. I brought this for you.
Okay, well,
Okay, quick story about this. So as soon as the little McDonald's promotion started 2 weeks ago, I stopped at this McDonald's in Colorado, and I was like, something's like the fourth McDonald's, and they were like, I was like, could you sell them by themselves? So they have me on choice, and they're like, sure. I was like, oh, finally, I got a yes. I was like, let me get 1 through 15. She's like, I got you. I went, oh my God, this is great. Waited, she brings them out. I speed off. I drive all day, get to Missouri, went to another McDonald's. They said yes. I was like, can I get 16 through 21?
And she's like, okay. And I'm like, in one day, I've got all 21 toys. This is the greatest thing. It was so easy. I'm like, it was so easy. I'm like, that was too easy. And so I started looking at the bottom numbers. That first bag, 1 through 15, was all number 9 and number 10. A bag of them. And I was like,
what that is?
No. This is another one. I'm getting to that. So then a week ago, I'm heading up to Michigan. I stop at one in Kentucky. Same thing. Yes, we absolutely do. I was like, okay, I won't overload you. Just 1 through 10. Give me 1 through 10. Okay. These are all number 9s and 10s. There's a bag of 10 of these, and there's like 3 number 9s and 7 number 10s in here. And I have 2 bags of them now. I don't know what's going on there. It feels like maybe that's what's in the boxes mainly, and then there's other ones or the rare ones.
That's awesome.
But I saw you guys open them on there, so I brought you a bag of 9s and 10s.
I was gonna say, I'll definitely take one of each.
Knock yourself out.
His older brother is
more obsessed with
Oh, is
these
that
than
right?
I've ever seen him love another toy.
Give them out.
Can I open
because-
one?
Yeah,
We'll
they're
do it quick
yours.
because we got to wrap this up. While
gotta
he's
wrap
doing
it
that,
up.
do you want to plug anything else other than the con?
No, that's what I got coming up now. I already did BillyCon last week. Check out BillyCon online, and you will be thrilled with it.
Let me see it.
It's the toy. It's the toy display. That's one of them I wanted.
Oh, is that the toy display?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome.
That is
That's
cool, actually.
All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us
See
on,
y'all.
on the floor, you know. Streets and Eats.
That's me.
What is your YouTube name?
Reed Cole. My
Cole.
name.
His real name. He went that way. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
You Casey Neistat it.